Good evening, gentlemen. My topic is about BRICS versus Quad. Quad, which is India's priority. So let me give the abbreviation of BRICS, which is a comparison of five countries, which is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Whereas Quad is about the quadrilateral relationship between the four countries, including India with Japan, France, and Australia. So I would suggest that Quad is very important with compared to the BRICS because Quad is the relationship where we are strengthening our water boundaries with Japan and Australia and other country by strengthening our naval exercise, which is frequently going on in the years. Recently, India and Japan completed the naval exercise together in the Arabian Sea because our India, which is facing very more threats in the waters when compared to the land, because China, which have chosen Sri Lanka for its investment hub, is planning to occupy Sri Lanka in the trade wise, because which also be a problem for India, because China, which already occupied the land near the Ladakh. That's why India, who took the major decision of making the Ladakh and Jammu as a union territory. So also, yeah, China always indirectly supports the terrorism, like countries like Pakistan and the countries which are residing neighboring towards the northeast region, like Bhutan and Myanmar. The China, who's indirectly funding these countries for terrorism, but whereas in the contrast, India, who is always a zero tolerance of terrorism in the UN stage, would always prefer for the peace of the world. So I think the Quad is very important than the BRICS, because India would stand neutral when the countries like other countries were fighting. Uh, Therefore, I would prefer Quad when compared to the BRICS. That would be appropriate for the country's current situation. Thank you.
So, good evening, gentlemen. The lecture topic given to me is Pakistan crisis. So, Pakistan is our neighboring country, which is our neighbor, and Pakistan had a crisis due to which he had to pay in coming next years. He had to pay a loan of 80 billion, and this situation leads to so many things which had happened in Pakistan. The main reason for the crisis of Pakistan crisis is the economic crisis, as once a day Pakistan government has allowed people of their country to run a scheme that sasta atta free kind of thing, and in that situation people are ran to the government facilities where they provide that atta, and due to which there a crisis had happened and people had a fight with each other, and due to which it leads to a very bad circumstances into the country, and for that the country had to pay a loan of in a loan of 80 billion in coming days, and the situation is come due to that the company had taken loan from the neighboring countries and also had to pay our interest on that. So that they according to me according to the information, they had taken a 50% of loan from outside countries and had to pay that. So due to no increase in their economic condition, they had not enough money to pay that back. So the foreign investment companies had had told them that they had to pay a interest of above 50%. So for that the company are so that for that the country are having a crisis in which people are had to face so many problems, so many problems, like they had to buy things in expensive ways, like if anybody wants to buy something, so they had to pay more and they also get in less quantity. So for that the country had taken help from so many countries, but due to lack of friendship with other countries, the country had to pay a, a loan of 80 billion. Thank you.
My topic is today is South China Sea dispute. So as we can see, India and China are both neighbor countries, in India, in South China Sea, China is spreading its footprints in the sea, and it also want to capture Taiwan. And if it do this to capture Taiwan, is China's original institutions are to surround India from all sides, because if in Bay of Bengal, China, we can see that China had many times sent his submarines and ships in our Bay of Bengal territory, and also China is very close to Pakistan. So, if China can conquer the Taiwan region of South China Sea, it will surround India from all of the sides in our sea route. And because the South China Sea is the main trade route of India, and India is supporting Taiwan, so it is a matter of dispute between both the countries. Although China and India are sharing good relationship, but China is showing his black colors in behind our back. Thank you.
Good evening, friends. My today's topic is Indo-China border conflicts. So I have divided my topic into 4 major parts. First, with the introduction, then what are the current problems going on, what are the proceeding outcomes, and a little bit of my point of view in it, and a bit conclusion. So as we know that India and China currently is not having that good relations with each other, let it be economic, political, at a world level, and also the major one, that is a border dispute. So in the initial days, India-China had a good relation, but after giving an asylum to Dalai Lama, the border dispute started. It started with 1962 Indo-China War, where India has to face many backlashes from China. And at that time, they captured the area of Aksai Chin, which is still under their control. Then after that, China still claims that they have major 5 fingers that are called Tibet, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, and Arunachal as their subsidiaries or their part. And their traditions claim it to be the part of China. And I think this ideology of China is gonna make them hamper or think about the future, that Arunachal Pradesh and the Aksai Chin area could be their permanent part. And China is still trying that. Now, what are the current conflicts? As we know that one of the major incidents, that was the Galwan Valley incident, where we lost many of our brave troops in the hand-to-hand combat in 2019-20 times. And also the recent border dispute, which was in Tawang sector of Arunachal Pradesh. It was in 2022 December. And I think there also, so due to this small incidents of China, we can see that there is a Chinese psychology that they want to capture the area of Arunachal Pradesh and still want to get into India. And also they have many other strategies to cover India through many sides, like string of pearls, due to which they are trying to pressurize India by all the aspects, like the economic. They are doing they're letting us economy down by dumping their goods, cheap raw material into India, which will like they are in Hindi terms it's called Sam Dam Danda Bhed. So they are using all the aspects to surpass India and take control over it. And I think India is also countering it in many aspects. And coming to my point of view and conclusion, I think India must try to be economically much more powerful and also militarily powerful to be stable in this aspect. And I think India is working good on it at a global level, representing ourselves. And we will soon be at the same level, and we will not let it happen anyhow. Thank you.
Good evening, gentlemen. My lecture topic is Ukraine-Russia war. The war is begun on February 24th, 2022. As we expected, the Russia is the world's largest army. So it is so obvious that we expected that Ukraine is fall within a month. So we have to understand the main cause of the war, that is NATO. So US plan to that join Ukraine so that they can surveillance on Russia. So as a big rivalry of NATO, Russia did not accept it, and they already give them ultimatum. If Ukraine sign the deal, they have to conquer. They have to conquer the Ukraine. So as Putin said, he do as he said. So after that, millions of people died. But the miracle thing that is unexpected, that the Ukrainian troops fight with Russians with small numbers, and they successfully blocked the Russian troops to reach the Kiev, which is capital of Ukraine. In this what time, in this 1.5 year what time, we saw many of geopolitical events like NATO sanction a lot of things over Russia, and at the counter retaliation, Russia sorry. In the counter retaliation, Russia cut his gas supply to over the Europe, and as we know that Europe depends 40% of gas supply over Russia. So this kind of incidents happen, but the thing is that in Indian point of view, the Western countries pressurized India to give some sanction over Russia. But as we have the strong and bold foreign minister S. Jaishankar, he tackled the different situation as well, and India take a neutral and also participating to neutralize the war as we expected for the peace. Thank you.
The topic of today is Chinese dominance in Southeast Asia. Recently, China held multiple dimensional meetings with Southeast Asia countries like Maldives, Bhutan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and Pakistan. And we all know that after America and Russia, China is maintaining to keep himself or to make him a superpower. So he is targeting. So the country is targeting the small countries like Maldives, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and making them into debt traps. We all know that China's one policy initiative and CPEC with Pakistan, and first of all, in Sri Lanka, he just lent some lump sum amount to Sri Lanka in his time of crisis. After that, when they can't even afford to pay that debt, then China took Hambantota food for 99 years, and it is also for Pakistan. Like Pakistan is also gave his leg in China's debt trap. In China's sector, so he is giving the to make one better to make a CPEC corridor. CPEC corridor. The Chinese people are intervening into the Balochistan people and working there and is disturbing the Balochistan people. So Chinese growing dominance to South. Now India is the main threat to China, as because India is the developing nations that can counter China. Thank you.
Versus BRICS, which is important for India. First, let's understand what is Quad and what is BRICS. BRICS is a group of 5 nations that includes Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. So this is the group where India and China have together. We have together in other groups also like ASEAN and G20, but BRICS and let's talk about the Quad. Quad is a informal group of 4 countries that includes Australia, India, Japan, USA. The idea of Quad was initiated by 2007 by then Japanese Prime Minister, but the idea could not move forward as Australia had to put down due to the Chinese influence, Chinese pressure. But in 2020, after the India's initiative request, Australia joined the group, and the idea of these 4 nations come into reality. So let's talk about the importance. First, China is the biggest threat for India right now. China is not only conflicting, we have conflict relationship with China not only in the border but in the water disputes and in the market also. China sees India as a counter superpower, so it always try to make two-front war with India by supporting the Pakistan, and it increase infiltration in the infiltrated activity in the Jammu Kashmir region. So the biggest threat is China. So the Quad is a group that was initiated. The objective of the Quad was to ensure a free, open, prosperous Indo-Pacific region and to keep the critical sea routes in the Indo-Pacific region out of the Chinese influence. So that is the good way, because Chinese economy, we know that it is a exporting economy. The major chunks of Chinese export gone through the Indian Ocean, Indo-Pacific Ocean. The only way to curb China is in the water. So Quad can work very well. We have curbed on the Chinese aggression policy with the help of Quad members. Thank you.